Good morning. As the sun rises over Washington, D.C., the city awakens to a weekend that will be remembered for years to come. Today is October 19th, 2025, and the nation is deeply divided. The air is thick with tension, and the streets are filled with passionate voices on both sides of the political spectrum. Over the weekend, millions joined the No Kings protests, peaceful, family-filled demonstrations demanding limits on presidential power. People from all walks of life, young and old, marched together, united by a common belief that democracy must be protected from the threat of unchecked authority. Their message was clear and unwavering. No one should rule like a monarch in America. Chants echoed through the city, and homemade signs captured the spirit of resistance. But the protests were quickly overshadowed by President Trump's response, a provocative AI-generated video mocking the demonstrators. The video, released on social media, instantly went viral and became the center of heated conversations nationwide. The video depicted an AI Trump as a king, flying a jet and dropping sludge on animated crowds, igniting fierce debate. For many, it was a shocking display of digital bravado. For others, it was a rallying cry. All this unfolds amid a prolonged government shutdown, closing federal services, and creating real hardship for families. Lines outside shuttered offices grew longer, and uncertainty spread as paychecks were missed and vital services halted. Protesters see the shutdown as evidence of authoritarian leadership, connecting their fears to daily struggles. For many, the shutdown is not just a political tactic, it's a symbol of a government losing touch with its people. The convergence of protest, shutdown, and digital mockery has created a perfect storm of political tension. Social media feeds are flooded with opinions, memes, and arguments, amplifying the sense of crisis. We'll explore why so many joined the No Kings movement and why Trump's supporters see things so differently. The divide is not just political, it's personal, emotional, and deeply rooted in competing visions for America's future. This is a story about a nation wrestling with its identity and future, as citizens everywhere ask themselves what kind of country they want to become. No Kings is more than just a catchy slogan. It's a phrase deeply rooted in the very origins of the United States. When America was founded, the idea of rejecting monarchy and hereditary rule was revolutionary. The founders wanted to break away from the old world of kings and queens, and instead, create a government where power came from the people, not a single ruler. Today, No Kings is a powerful rejection of monarchy and unchecked power in any form. It's a reminder that the country was built on the belief that no one person should have absolute authority. Protesters use the phrase as a stand against what they see as President Trump's authoritarian behavior, his frequent executive orders, public attacks on the judiciary, and the way he sometimes presents himself with regal self-imagery. For them, these actions echo the dangers of unchecked power that the founders warned about. The movement isn't about opposing a literal king, but about defending the democratic norms and checks on presidential power that keep the system balanced. Protesters believe that these safeguards are essential to prevent any leader from becoming too powerful. On social media, Trump's AI-generated images in crowns and royal robes are often shared as jokes by his supporters, who see them as playful or satirical. But critics argue that these images carry a dangerous symbolism, normalizing the idea of a leader above the law and blurring the line between democracy and autocracy. For protesters, No Kings is a pushback against the very idea of absolute power. It's a statement that no leader, no matter how popular, should be above the rules. It's also a call to action, a demand to safeguard democracy and protect the rights and freedoms that define the nation. Protesters demand respect for Congress, insisting that legislative oversight is a crucial part of the American system. They also call for strong, independent courts, a free press, and the right to dissent, pillars that keep democracy healthy and leaders accountable. Their march is a public declaration, a clear message that they will not accept a slide toward autocracy or the erosion of democratic values. No Kings is their rallying cry for a nation governed by laws, not by the whims of any one leader. It's a call to remember America's founding promise, that power belongs to the people, and democracy must always be defended. The No Kings protests were truly unprecedented in scale. Organizers estimate that nearly 7 million people took to the streets across all 50 states, a number that stunned even seasoned activists. The sheer size of the crowds, stretching for blocks in major cities and filling town squares in rural communities, was a powerful visual statement. From the first light of morning until well after sunset, people gathered in solidarity, united by a common cause. This was the largest single-day protest since Earth Day 1970, with rallies erupting in over 2,700 locations. The movement reached every corner of the country, from the bustling avenues of Los Angeles and Chicago to the quiet streets of small towns where entire communities turned out. Even places that had never seen a protest before found themselves swept up in the energy. The atmosphere was overwhelmingly peaceful and even festive, with music, laughter, and a sense of hope filling the air. In New York City, where crowds exceeded 100,000, not a single arrest was reported, a testament to the movement's commitment to nonviolence and mutual respect. Protesters of all ages and backgrounds marched side by side, students, parents, grandparents, and children, each bringing their own stories and perspectives. Art, music, and humor became tools for amplifying their message, transforming the protests into vibrant celebrations of democracy. Creative displays were everywhere, hand-painted banners, elaborate costumes, and striking effigies of Trump dressed in royal garb. These visuals captured the imagination of onlookers and spread the movement's message far beyond the streets, reaching millions more through social media and news coverage. Stages in city parks and town squares hosted passionate speakers who urged civic engagement, respect for democratic principles, and the importance of standing up for one another. Their words inspired many to take action beyond the day's events. The protests were about more than just opposition. They fostered a sense of community and shared purpose. Strangers became friends, and neighbors found common ground as they worked together to build a better future. For many, it was an emotional affirmation that they were not alone in their concerns. Tears, hugs, and words of encouragement flowed freely, creating a powerful sense of belonging and hope. The day was a vivid demonstration of the power of peaceful assembly and free speech, reminding the nation of the enduring strength of collective action. It was a defining moment for a movement demanding accountability, and a reminder that when people come together, their voices can shape history. At the heart of the conflict is how President Trump's leadership is perceived. Protesters argue his actions, clashes with the judiciary, confrontations with Congress, and the government shutdown reflect a disregard for checks and balances. They see the shutdown as a power play, not negotiation, and his rhetoric as fueling a cult of personality. Trump's use of AI images as a crowned figure is, for them, a troubling embrace of monarchical symbolism. They believe he's undermining the structures meant to prevent tyranny, acting more as a ruler than a public servant. For protesters, their alarm is not an overreaction. It's a warning that the republic is at risk. The protest is a call to defend democracy from a slide into autocracy. They see this moment as a crucial test of American values. Trump's supporters see the No Kings protests as misguided and unpatriotic, dismissing them as Hate America rallies. They view Trump not as a king, but as a strong leader breaking through Washington gridlock and fighting for his voters. His battles with Congress and the courts are, to them, necessary fights against entrenched bureaucracy. The AI images are seen as satire, Trump mocking critics by leaning into their caricatures. Supporters praise his direct communication and see his humor as a way to dominate the media narrative. They believe Trump's loyalty is to the people, not the political establishment. For them, he's a disruptive force for good, not a monarch. The protests are viewed as unfair attacks on a president finally putting America first. The protests and AI video are unfolding during a painful government shutdown. Federal services are closed, workers furloughed, and families face real hardship. Protesters blame Trump's governing style, seeing the shutdown as a weapon to force Congress's hand. They argue a true leader would negotiate, not hold the country hostage. The shutdown's impact is widespread. Families, small businesses, and citizens needing federal services are all affected. This hardship amplifies anger at the president's mocking video, which feels tone-deaf amid real suffering. The image of a crowned president dropping sludge on protesters is seen as dismissive of American struggles. The contrast between digital mockery and real-world pain makes the crisis feel urgent. The shutdown's shadow looms over the entire political drama. As protests ended, Trump posted an AI-generated video himself as a crowned king in a fighter jet dropping sludge on animated protesters. The video, set to Danger Zone, was a direct, taunting response to the demonstrations. It didn't address protester concerns. Instead, it mocked them in crude, juvenile fashion. Trump has posted similar regal AI images before, but this felt like an escalation, targeting ordinary citizens, not just political rivals. The video even included a lookalike of left-wing influencer Harry Sisson, making the attack personal. The use of AI for such inflammatory content raises new questions about technology's role in political discourse. Critics saw it as a vulgar dismissal of dissent. Supporters saw it as clever trolling. The video instantly became a national flashpoint. The response to Trump's AI video was swift and polarized. Protesters and critics called it undignified and bullying, especially during a government shutdown. The White House dismissed concerns with a spokeswoman saying, "Who cares?" fueling accusations of arrogance. The administration doubled down, posting more AI images mocking political opponents. Supporters celebrated the video as brilliant trolling and a sign of Trump's media savvy. For them, it was a jab at liberal elites, not ordinary Americans. Influencer Harry Sisson, depicted in the video, called for answers. Vice President Vance responded with sarcasm. Trump denied being a king in a Fox News interview, despite the video's imagery, widening the gap between his words and actions. The controversy deepened the nation's divide. Looking ahead, both sides have starkly different hopes. No King's protesters want their demonstration to spark action, stronger checks on presidential power, more civic engagement, and a return to democratic norms. They seek unity, debate, and respect for institutions, not shutdowns and personal attacks. Trump's supporters want him to stay the course, fighting for his agenda and standing firm against critics. They see division as necessary to reclaim the country from a corrupt establishment. Both sides believe they're fighting for America's soul. The path to bridging this divide is uncertain. The nation's future hangs in the balance.